Chase, so I know you just got back from Sundance.
I'm actually still here.
Oh, you're at Sundance.
I'm so
okay.
tired.
I do not envy you. You've seen 1,000 films in the last 3 or 4 days, I imagine.
Many of them good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Are there any that the Seattle Film Critics Society is going to keep an eye on? Any with, Seattle relevance that you predict we're going to see or be talking about more in coming days?
Since we were talking about music, I'll say that there's a Courtney Love documentary, ANTIHEROINE, that I saw and quite liked, because a lot of music sort of documentaries can feel very superficial to me in that they're just like, this subject is great. How wonderful. And they soft pedal their portraits. This is a complex portrait of a complex person. And it talks a lot about her relationship to Seattle music is a significant part of it. It's about more beyond that, but I would say that's a big one. There's a documentary about AI called Ghost in the Machine that was made by a Seattle filmmaker, or at least a Seattle-raised filmmaker, that starts off talking about Microsoft as the beginning of some of this Pandora's box when they made an AI Twitter chatbot forever ago that then within a day became a hateful Nazi repeating things back, and they immediately shut it down. We maybe should
remember that.
We maybe should have learned some lessons, especially because
foreshadowing.
I know, especially because in this present moment yesterday, Amazon laid off a historic number of employees because of their increased funding in AI. And what this documentary
16,000.
Yeah. What this documentary posits is there's a lot of hype around AI. Even that term itself is a little bit of a misnomer and maybe has some nonsense underpinning it. And so I would say that's an essential one. None of these, unfortunately, are going to be easily available anytime soon because, unfortunately, documentary distribution can be hard. I'm hoping they show up maybe at the Seattle International Film Festival. What will be seen soon, how do I even pivot to this? I guess this is another music movie, is the Charli XCX mockumentary, but not a mockumentary, satire, but also sincere film The Moment, which has been one of the most divisive movies here, and it will be opening at SIFF next week. But I think
guess who's going opening night?
Yeah.
I already have tickets.
Oh
I think it's fascinating, and I will be curious because I know Charli XCX. She's been showing up in lots of movies, but I was not as familiar with her as some people, and so I'll be curious what more people make of it. And I know she had made her stop, I think it was her last stop on her tour in Seattle, and how massive of an event that was. But what this ends up being about is Brat Summer is maybe something that she can't escape from. That the idea of Brat Summer forever is both a blessing and a curse. And it's about art versus commerce. It's about integrity in your work. It's about how much of yourself you can put into things. It's really great. And then the only other one I'll say, just because we're on a podcast, is this horror movie called Undertone, which is about people doing a paranormal podcast and listening to recordings that they are sent by someone they don't know, and then things getting more and more unhinged. I don't want to say a lot more than that, but if you like podcasts, you should watch this movie. If you hate podcasts, you should also watch this movie. And that comes out, I think, in early March. But other than that, it's kind of... Film festivals are a weird thing to where some of these movies we'll be talking about a lot, and some of these movies you won't even hear about. But I think that's a healthy sampling of stuff people can see soon or stuff with Seattle ties I would recommend.
Chase, my heart stopped when you said, I know Charli XCX.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, you do?
Hold on. So I wasn't going...
Give me her number.
I wasn't going to mention this, but because you write a review not for the person that's made the project. But I was very proud of the review that I wrote of The Moment in the cold of a little tiny thing. Charli XCX.
Check it out in the wrap.
It is. I would recommend reading everybody else's perspective too. I was talking with a colleague, Aisha Harris from NPR. She's much more into Charli XCX. I'm looking forward to her thoughts. But I did get sent that Charli X screenshotted part of the review and posted it to her Instagram, not reels, but sort of full panel of photos. No, an actual post.
A carousel.
Yes.
You got a grid post from Charli XCX? That's incredible.
And so all of this is to say, Charli XCX, very online. So if you're listening to this, Charli, you should come to Seattle for a Q&A and talk about this.
Come hang out with us in CityCast Seattle.
Because I think
was amazing.
She's a very interesting artist. I really think she's doing interesting things with her career, reflecting on how authentic she can be. Because there's a final monologue in this with a needle drop that is not something I will give away, but the context of the song, it being kind of a one-hit wonder that came to define a band, but then also overshadowed their work, feels so interesting and loaded and moving. And I probably will go see this movie again at SIFF. And I would recommend people do as well.